Hello everybody, welcome to my tips and tricks for Stardew Valley. I hope you guys enjoy. Here are the top 10 tips I have for Stardew Valley. Tip number 1, make sure you're using your television correctly because a lot of people don't do so. So what you're going to want to do is pop your TV up, look at the weather report, fortune teller, and living off the land. And the chef one, once it's there, gives you recipes. Either way, the weather report one is actually the most important. So clicking on the weather report, it shows you a detailed way of knowing what is going to be happening the next day. So if it's raining, you can upgrade your tools in certain times that it's more efficient. Either way, it's the most important. The fortune teller, clicking in on that, is going to give you a detailed reasoning of if it's lucky or not lucky today. Are you going to be fishing or are you not? I would suggest doing this for days that you want to fish, because if it's lucky, you'll get lucky. And for the last one, living off the land, it essentially just gives you an overview of everything that you can do on the land in different seasons. So as you can see, it just says about what you can do with fall almost here and such. Either way, that's the television. The next tip is about farming. You get 15 parsnips right off the rip. I would suggest planting them as soon as you can, because it takes about 4 to 5 days for parsnips to grow, and once they do grow, you're going to want to replant them. So plant your parsnips. So plant your parsnips and let them grow. Harvest them when you can. Water them every day. Bring your harvested parsnips to Pierre, sell them, get potatoes or more parsnips, because you will learn about it in the future, but the egg festival is coming up and you're going to want your money for strawberries. Just try to do it as fast as possible. Tip number 3, as I was saying, the birthdays and the board and everything like that. This board has 2 different sections. One section is going to be about birthdays in the calendar and your luau's and stuff like that, and this one is going to be all about your quests. The calendar shows each of your members of your town's birthdays, which is important. You want to give them gifts on their birthday. They'll like you, which is important for recipes in the future and things like that, them allowing you into parts of their houses you weren't able to go to before. But the most important is you can see your luau's, you can see your Junimo festivals. The most important of those, though, right now for beginners, is the Egg Festival on the 13th of every spring. That's going to allow you to get your strawberries, and that's where you're essentially going to be making the most of your money. Now, I would suggest saving your money for that. And besides the backpack, which we'll get into soon. The quest board is essentially just quests. It's just trying to keep the art of fishing alive and pay 150 gold. It's just a way to get money. It's great if you have off time, but if you don't have off time, don't do it. So tip number 4, while we're on the topic of discussion of fishing and gathering things, I would suggest going to the beach, going over to the, we have some worms. These worms you can dig up with a hoe, and that's going to allow you to get gold like I do here, or anything really. You can get artifacts, you can get books and stuff for the library. That's just watch a tutorial on that. That's a whole different part of the game. So this is actually important. Right at the beginning of the game, a lot of people don't talk about this. It's 300 wood to build this bridge. This is an investment, but it's well worth it because you can get coral and all kinds of fun stuff over on that side of the beach. It's gonna save you a lot of time and money, and you'll make some money. Everybody likes making money. Also, I would suggest foraging down in the bottom left in these dirt spots. Really important. You can get leek, you can get onions, you can get all kinds of foraging items, and it's great for day 1. Just on day 1, just make sure that you're going down there every day, picking the foraging items and selling them to Pierre or in your box overnight. Also, while we're waiting for 9 a.m. for Pierre to open, I would suggest going to each trash can and right-clicking. You have a chance of getting something. So The things that you can get in here range from bread all the way to amethyst, so it's almost worth it. It's not that bad either. It's just right-clicking while you're moving, and you get a bunch of extra items. That's free. That's easy. As you can see, I get an acorn. That's awesome. But just please make sure you're not doing it around anybody. If there's someone around, they will say that you're disgusting, and it's kind of mean. You don't want anybody in the area because they'll think that you're disgusting. Anyway, talking about disgusting, the amount of pressure you have only having 4 or 5 inventory slots besides your tools is insane. As you can see, I have a $10,000 backpack I can get, but for beginners, it's going to be $2,000. Now, when I say it's important, I mean it's important to upgrade your backpack. For $2,000, I know it's steep, but for $2,000 you can upgrade your backpack. That gives you an extra line of inventory space. That is so important for foraging, for fishing, for mining, for cutting down trees, everything. It's incredibly important, and I would just do it. I would suggest to do it. Just do it. Tip number 7, a slight tip while we're walking back to our house. Just make sure you're fishing in the rain, because there's some fish that will only spawn in rain, and you're going to want those. They're important. Tip number 8. This is one of the more important tips. I would heavily suggest getting scarecrows. So the crops I have here aren't that big of a deal. They're not going to yield too much, but once you get ancient fruit, scarecrows are going to be your best friend. The reasoning I say this is because if you don't get a scarecrow, you run into the risk of a crow eating your crops, and you don't want that to happen. It's just like literally doing this, throwing it right in the trash. It is absolutely pointless. Get a scarecrow. It does a 4x4 or an 8x8 section. I actually don't know. I should probably have figured that out before the video, but either way, it does a 4x4 at least. I'm pretty sure it does an 8x8. So having a couple scarecrows around, not only is it very cheap to build, I think it's only 50 wood, 1 coal, and 20 fiber. You can do that within the first 5 days. That'll protect your crops. And ancient fruit. I was going to get to ancient fruit. They are really, really, really important. And if you get the luck of getting one early on, you don't want that to be stolen by a crow. It's a plant that is good for spring, summer, winter, and fall. Every single season. It yields thousands of dollars a season. It really, really helps you out financially, and it's not something you should hold lightly. So I would suggest just get a scarecrow. It's not that expensive. You just build a bridge for 300 wood, spare 50. Talking about 50 wood, the chests are very important. This is going to be where you're going to organize all your seeds, organize all your stuff. It's literally 50 wood. It is so easy to make, and I would heavily suggest utilizing this. Like, here I have my mining stuff, my bombs and such, and here I have all my foraging items and my extra stuff. Not that big of a deal, but chests are incredibly important. The last tip number 10, make sure you're going to sleep at the right time, because if you don't, it's not going to go well. Oh, my stuff is ready to harvest. Nice. So, as long as you're falling asleep before, let's just say 11 to 1 a.m., you're fine. But anytime after that, you have a reduced amount of energy, and it will actually affect you the next day, because 1, you won't have enough energy, and 2, if you stay up until after 2 a.m., you're going to wake up in the doctor's office because you fainted, and these things are going to steal your money. You work hard for your money. Don't let them steal it. Go to sleep before 12. It's worth it. Anyway, everyone, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for the recent support on the videos. I hope this is a nice change of pace. I wanted to do a tips and tricks just to help people that are beginners of Stardew Valley, because there's people that have never even played the game, and I want to shed a light on it. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. If there's any other tips you'd like to know, just comment down, and maybe I'll do a tips and tricks number 2. Send this to someone that's a beginner, maybe even a veteran. They might learn something new. Who knows? Either way, it's been iBlue. I appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace out.